All right, so I picked this problem because some people had some struggles today going over it in class. So I thought we should maybe go through it a little bit slower for those of you that need that. So we are asked to write an equation for a line. Well, we learned back in Algebra 1 that one of the forms of an equation for a line is y equals mx plus b. And you learned in Algebra 1 that the m meant the slope of the line and the b meant the y-intercept, or in other words, where does this graph cross the y-axis? Now, looking at this, we have 4 different equations, 2 of which have the same slope, and 2 have different slopes. So we're going to go ahead and find the slope first and figure out what that would be. So just a reminder that slope is your rise over your run. And the formula that you probably learned last year in Algebra 1 was y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So looking at this given information, we have these 2 points. And we need to figure out what the current slope is between those 2 points. So using this formula here, I'm going to plug in my 2 y values and my 2 x values. So I'm going to get y2, which would be negative 2, because it's the y value in the second point, minus y1, which is 1, over x2, 3, minus negative 4. All right, so if we finish this up, we will have negative 2 minus 1 is negative 3 over 3 minus a negative 4 is 7. So the slope, the current slope for the one line is going to be we also learned back in Algebra 1, and we reviewed it this year, that if I know the slope of one line is a over b, then its perpendicular slope is negative b over a. We need the product of the 2 slopes to equal negative 1 when they're done. So we know in this case that our slope is going to be, instead of negative 3/7, it's going to be positive 7/3. So right away, we know it's either A or it's D. Now, the trickiest part is always finding the y-intercept or the b. So right now, our current equation has the form y equals 7/3 x plus b. Now, we need to find b. We have to replace that. We got to figure out what that equals. So going back to the original problem, we said that this line has to pass through the point 2, 1. So that means the point 2, 1 is on this line. So I have 2 options here. I can either plug in the point 2, 1 to A, plug in the point 2, 1 to D, and see which one of those the point satisfies. Or I can go ahead and use my algebra skills, write one equation with one variable and solve it. I'm going to choose the latter. So I'm going to replace this y with 1, because that's what the y is in the point. And that's going to equal 7/3, and I'm going to replace the x with what x is equal to, which is 2, plus b. Now I have one equation with one variable. So I'm going to go ahead and do my math here and simplify. So looking at this, to get b all by itself, I know I need to subtract 14/3 from both sides. But in order to subtract 14/3 from 1, I'm going to change the 1 to 3/3. So the 1 goes to 3/3. I minus 14/3 from the left side. If I subtract it from the right side, it reduces to 0, equals b. So I know that my b is going to equal 3 minus 14, or negative 11/3. Now that I have that answer, I know that my answer for this problem has to be D. So the final equation is y equals 7/3 x minus 11/3.